Hey everybody, it's me, the gift.
And today we have what?
2024 Mazda CX-90, all new.
So GS-L plug-in hybrid.
It produces 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque in total, combined with the battery and the engine. The engine alone produces 189 horsepower and 192 pound-feet of torque. The electrical motor produces 173 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. This is housed with a 17.8 kilowatt hour battery, enough to get you about 42 EPA kilometer range, but I've actually gotten a bit more. It'll actually take a full 30 amp charge and charge it in an hour and a half from 20% to 80%. It weighs 2,344 kilos, so it's not a very light car, but it's got a battery, so you gotta cut some slack.
Okay, 0 to 100, show us what it can do. Almost 7 seconds. That's not slow. And
For heavy? Yeah, I know.
And now it starts to rain.
It's raining.
Beautiful.
Hold on.
It's pouring. And now the microphones are not going to be able to record anything, because all they're going to hear is clang, clang, clang. So how much does this bad boy cost, Steve?
So this guy's just over 62 grand after you after you factor in all the freight and PDI and destination charges. But what is it, 59,000 and change base?
59,950 MSRP for the GS-L.
Yeah.
The cheaper model is 5 grand less. The more expensive model is 5 grand more. In the USA, it's about 10 grand less in US dollars, right?
Yeah.
So it's 52 something. So pretty good value. The competition is what? The Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, and a lot more others, because 7-seaters nowadays are like crazy. But
Yeah.
I think Mazda did a great job. We watched a lot of videos on how they tuned the suspension and everything. Let's get started from somewhere. The looks. You like how it looks?
This color pops and looks astounding. I love this color. I got nothing but compliments on this color. It shows all the curves and all the accents of the exterior. Fantastic. It's got LED headlights. It's got LED rear tail lights. They're very, very well suited for the car. 19-inch rims. You can get them in optional 21-inch rims in higher packages, but phenomenal looks. What do you think?
I like it a lot too. I think it looks great, and it also looks great on the inside, but I'm a bit this much disappointed with the materials. Like,
You're
top
too
of the
picky,
doors, I was expecting something softer, like up here in the dash.
Yeah, okay.
Overall, I think it's good though. I think for what it's trying to compete with, I think it's good. I don't think it looks the notch above. Like, you know, the Mazda 3, for example, kind of pushed the bar into luxury. This one, I think, looks, it's
Middle
class.
class still?
But as you said, fit and finish is great. No rattling, no squeaking. Feels nicely tight together, and ergonomically, easy to use, right?
Everything's easy to find. Everything's easy to use. I haven't had a single problem trying to figure out what buttons do what. I love this little charging button here. I figured out that if I'm on the highway, I can actually charge up my battery again after I use it all, which is
using
great.
the gas engine. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. So you can actually get your battery fully charged again, which is great. I loved it. And I got into highway traffic. It was perfect. You don't hear anything in this car in terms of exterior noise. But the greater thing is that you can hear everybody all the way from the third row back seat. My kids and I went on a trip. I heard everything they could say from the back, no problem. So that was pretty fantastic. I loved it.
Roominess, so family fit no problem.
Yeah, lots of legroom in the front, back, and back row. So my kids were in the back sleeping, hanging out.
So with you sitting in the rear, in the middle, I can fit behind you,
Easy.
kinda.
Yeah, because you can slide the seat back and forth.
I wouldn't go on a very long trip, but I can fit, which is good. So it's a practical 7-seater.
Yep.
The trunk, however, so Mazda says 742 liters or something like that with all the seats up, which I don't believe. It's way too optimistic. With the third row folded down, they say 1,100 and something, 30. That I believe. That looks more convincing. Wow, the rain is not letting us do a video today, but it doesn't matter.
It just has to rain.
We're just gonna talk louder so that you can hear us. So the drivetrain is great, seamless. Can't figure out anything. It does all the smart stuff. You can recharge the batteries with the engine. You can go on EV only mode and do 42 kilometers, but you did more than that, which is
Yeah,
good.
I stretched it a bit by 2 kilometers, so I was actually impressed.
So it'll allow you to do a full power charge, which is great because sometimes the plug-in hybrids will cap you at 16 amps, which sucks.
Yeah.
This one will let you go all the way, which is great.
It'll use a full 30 amps.
Now, I see you've been using only 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's by plugging it in quite a bit, right?
So I've had this car for a week. SUV. I've had it for a week, and I was plugging it in as often as I could, and I'm averaging 6.1 liters, actually 6 liters now, even while we're testing it.
It's gone down. Usually it goes way up when we're testing something.
Yeah, it's gone down. I don't understand that. But
Yeah.
I still have just under a half a tank. I'm between half and a quarter right now, and I've done 636 kilometers.
Which is
That's
like
fantastic.
400 something miles, yeah?
I'm loving it.
Nice, good stuff. Now, the big thing about this car, SUV, is Mazda did a fantastic job. They did a lot of work tuning the suspension. So they have double wishbone suspension in the front.
Multi-link rear suspension, and it's all the money. They've designed it in a way that when you're taking sharp turns as well, it'll actually use the braking system to kind of make
Torque
the suspension.
Yeah.
Sure. It'll actually keep the bottom end down, so it feels like there's a lot less roll. And you know what? They're right. It works, and it works like a champ. There's a lot less body roll in this. It handles like a car, and it actually handles...
Anti-squat too. So they've done a lot of work on how the car squats under throttle or
Yes.
dives under braking. They've done a really good job. And does it actually feel as good as a BMW to drive?
I gotta say, it's really close to my X3. Really close. And this is a lot bigger than my X3.
Bigger, it drives like an X3. It's a big compliment for this car.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
And at the same time, it's comfortable over bumps. It's not bumpy, right?
It's like Mazda ironed the road out, so everything's smooth. I had no complaints driving this. It was like lazy guy driving. Like,
Nice. How about the driving assistance? Good?
they're okay. I found that it was a little too proactive, and when I was trying to change lanes, it would start beeping, and I kind of freak out a bit. But you know, sometimes it was picking up something way behind, which was kind of weird because I would say if you're in my immediate blind spot, like alert me. But I guess it's compensating for me with the approach of something coming. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it, anyways, but it was okay.
Sound system?
Great.
Good?
Yeah.
Good sound system?
You know what? For what you're paying, it's great money. It booms. It's very crisp. It's clean. I like it.
All right. So you said the seating position is great. What about the seat?
So seats, great. I feel really well balanced, but after about an hour and a half going to Niagara with everyone, my lower back was getting a little sore. So, but they were good seats.
Okay. The brakes work quite well. From 100 to 0, it stopped in 40 meters, which is good for where we test stuff.
Yeah.
How's the brake pedal feel? Any weirdness from regen and stuff like that? Or is
No,
it
it feels good. It feels like regular brakes. It doesn't feel too spongy or anything like that. Like you hit the brakes and the car stops. It feels nothing different.
Tell us a little bit more about the handling. So if you actually push it in a corner, like, does it understeer, oversteer? Is it neutral?
I'll be honest, I haven't really tried to really push this thing to the limit like you do.
Well, I did. And I can tell you, it's for an SUV of its size, it handles really well. And I have to say, yeah, see how it was a little bit playful in the back?
Yeah.
So, I mean, nobody's ever going to drive these things like to the limit, hopefully, because if they do, they don't know what they're doing. But honestly, Mazda did good enough work so that this feels engaging and exciting on a daily basis. So when you just take the kids to school, it's not a bland, boring, shitty SUV like everything else out there. I mean, it is because it's one of them, but you know what? It's better than everything else, and I appreciate that because they actually put some effort in doing stuff like calibrating nicely stuff for an SUV, which not everybody does. So, good job, Mazda.
Yep. By the way, going from gas to electric, totally seamless. You'll never notice it.
Yeah. So you can get this with a more powerful 3.3 liter turbo inline 6-cylinder, which I think Mazda kind of built this car around that engine. However, this one is still good. It's a 4-cylinder 2.5 liter Skyactiv naturally aspirated motor. It's pushed all the way back, so it's like there's a big cap on the top, but the motor is actually, the engine, since we have an electric motor here, is like really far back into the chassis. They have their own 8-speed automatic, so they build it in-house, so that they made the casing the way they want it, so they can fit everything without intrusion into like the floor. And you know, some cars have like interesting humps and stuff like that. That's because they have to accommodate designs from other companies, but no, Mazda built everything themselves. Overall, what do you think? Overall score?
Solid 9 out of 10. Solid 9
out of 10.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 just because the hype around it was so intense and I was kind of underwhelmed with what I saw. But
Really?
the thing that annoys me the most is that this infotainment is still not a touchscreen, and you don't have wireless Apple CarPlay, which I think you should have, or Android Auto. You do have a wireless charger, you have driving modes, hill descent control. This round knob for controlling the infotainment is okay, but honestly, like, how many times have you touched the screen?
Don't you see all the fingerprints?
Exactly, me too. So it's just so intuitive. If
It'd be
was
nicer if it was touchscreen.
a touchscreen,
Yeah,
and get it
that'd be
over
something
with,
we
right?
appreciate more too. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, this is a mid-level trim level, so there are some stuff missing, like ventilated seats would be nice.
That'd be nice.
Heated rear seats would have been nice. They're not here.
That's missing.
But you do get USB ports to charge all over the cabin, even in the far back, which is good.
In the third
Have
row,
a
there's
nice
USB-Cs.
sunroof, which I think we can open again because the rain has stopped, kinda. See, the rain just came down, us, and now it's gone. Alright, so it's all good. Okay, thanks for watching. That's pretty much it with the Mazda CX-90 GS-L plug-in hybrid.
See you later.
Perfect.